Hello everyone. Today we are going to have a look at some of the inventions and traditional practices followed in ancient India. India, also known as Bharat and officially known as Republic of India, is a country in South Asia. It is the seventh largest country by area, the second most populous country, and the most populous democracy in the world. Bounded by the Indian Ocean on the south, the Arabian Sea on the southwest, and the Bay of Bengal on the southeast. It shares land borders with Pakistan to the west, China, Nepal, and Bhutan to the north, and Bangladesh and Myanmar to the east. In the Indian Ocean, India is in the vicinity of Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Its Andaman and Nicobar Islands share a maritime border with Thailand and Indonesia. Let us now look at some of the creations of ancient Indians. The sundials of Sun Temple in Konark. One of the greatest examples of creative genius. The Sun Temple of Konark in Odisha stands out among India's 29 cultural UNESCO World Heritage Sites. What makes the monument unique is how it is intricately carved structure and form, imagined and created entirely in the semblance of a celestial chariot carrying Surya, the sun god, also succeeds in adhering to the stylistic precepts of Kalingan architecture. Rabindranath Tagore described the temple as one where the language of stones surpasses the language of humans. The Sun Temple is also one of the 5 monuments on India's new banknotes. If you look closely at the reverse side of Rs 10 note, it contains the ornate wheel of the chariot. Based on the sun rays falling on these wheels, we can calculate the exact time to the seconds. From the sun, let's move on to the earth. In this picture, we see Lord Vishnu, who has taken the Varaha avatar with the intention of saving the drowning earth. Varaha, or the boar avatar or incarnation, is to show that all creations of God, from those creations having no senses to those having 6 senses, are all equal in the eyes of God. The Varaha avatar is the third avatar out of the 10 avatars, which took place more than 10,000 years ago. So Indians did know that the world was round. That's why they called geography as Bhukhol. Khol meaning round, which the world only accepted when they saw the picture from Apollo from space. India calls Earth as Jagat, which means Jiski gati hai wo, meaning which moves. So Indians knew that the Earth was round and also that it moves and not stationary. And this was thousands and thousands of years ago. Now, let's move on to the biggest star in the sky. Antares is a star, and Eris means Mars, which is red in color. Antares is a red star like the color of Mars. It is the 15th brightest object in the sky, yet ancient Indians call Antares star as Jesta, which means biggest, oldest, and the eldest. Now, why would they call the 15th brightest star in the sky as the biggest? It turns out that they were right. The 15th biggest object in the sky turns out to be 40,000 times bigger than our sun. Now, just imagine you have a group of people who have managed to name a star the biggest, and this was 7,000 plus years ago, which was just a point in the sky, and there were no telescopes to magnify and have a look. Let's have a look at the Big Bear constellation. Now we're going to have a look at that circled point, which is known as Mizar. We all know about the Big Bear constellation, and we're going to look at into detail about this star named as Mizar. So this point is actually not one star but two stars. And being two stars, this itself is a big deal to figure out that that point of sparkle in the sky is not one star but two stars. They are called Arundhati and Vashishta. Arundhati is the wife of Vashishta. There is a tradition in South India that the newlywed couple should go out in the night and look at these stars. The reason being that they should adjust and live happily together like these two stars. Now, in most twin star systems, one star rotates around another, but Arundhati and Vashishta stars revolve around each other. Like this in the second box. It is astonishing that firstly, to figure out that they were twin stars system, and secondly, that they were two stars revolving around each other. Thirdly, to do all this in the ages where telescopes were not even invented. Now, this is something amazing about ancient Indians. Though people have always understood that the concept of nothing or having nothing, the concept of zero is relatively new. It fully developed in India around the 5th century AD, perhaps a couple of centuries earlier. Before then, mathematicians struggled to perform the simple arithmetic calculations. Today, zero, both the symbol or numeral and the concept of being the absence of any quantity, allows us to perform calculus, do complicated equations, and to have invented computers. The Indian zero, widely seen as one of the greatest innovations in human history, is the cornerstone of modern mathematics and physics, plus the spin of technology. Encryption and decryption. Now let's have a look at encryption and decryption. Data is encrypted and decrypted back for security purposes, and one of the simple example is our passwords. During ancient times in India, encryption and decryption was done using Katapayadi Sankhya. Katapayadi Sankhya is an ancient Indian alpha-syllabic numeral system to depict letters to numerals for easy remembrance of numbers as words or verses. Assigning more than one letter to one numeral and nullifying certain other letters as valueless, this system provides the flexibility in forming meaningful words out of numbers which can be easily remembered. If you look at this slogan, it means that Gopi or Lord Krishna is the protector of cattle, and he destroyed evil doers, and it glorifies the characters of Lord Krishna. But when we use Katapayadi Sankhya, it can be decrypted to derive the pi value up to 30 digits after the decimal. Hence, ancient Indians knew encryption and decryption 7,000 years before. Let's move on to the sound of the sun. Before that, let's look into what Om stands for. Om, which is spelled as AUM or OM, is an all-encompassing cosmic vibration consciousness and the sound of the entire universe. Om has 5 states. wakeful state, the most common state you experience of life when awake through the conscious mind, represented by the A in Om. Dream state, your experiences when you are not awake or neither in deep sleep. Our subconscious is represented by the U in Om. Deep sleep, this is our hidden unconsciousness, things which are not yet revealed to us, the unmanifested, represented by the M in Om. Transcendental state, the enlightened self, deep consciousness, purity, clarity, the ultimate state, also the rarest, represented by the silence after Om. Illusion, our experience with the world around us. It separates us from entitlement. This is also known as Maya or illusion. Please go ahead and Google the sound of sun, which is recorded by NASA, and you will hear the humming Om in the recording. Let's move on to Ajanta Caves. The Ajanta Caves are 30 approximately rock-cut Buddhist caves monuments which date from the 2nd century BC to the 480 AD in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra state of India. The caves include paintings and rock-cut sculptures described as among the finest surviving examples of ancient Indian art, particularly expressive paintings that represent emotions through gestures, pose, and form. These are some of the photos of Ajanta cave carvings. Ellora Cave is an UNESCO World Heritage Site located in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra, India. It is one of the largest rock-cut Montessori temple cave complexes in the world, featuring Hindu, Jain, and Buddhist monuments and artwork, dating from the 600 to 1000 CE period. Let's have a look at metallurgy, the rust-proof iron. Now, this is the pillar which is standing in Delhi. The Iron Pillar of Delhi is a structure of 23 feet to 8 inches, 7.2 meters high, with 16 inches diameter, that was constructed by the King Chandragupta II, who reigned between 375 to 415 CE, and now stands in Qutb complex in Maharauli in Delhi, India. It is famous for rust-resistant composition of metals used in its construction. The pillar weighs over 3,000 kg and is thought to have been erected elsewhere, perhaps outside the Udayagiri caves, and moved to its present location early in the Delhi Sultanate. Though standing for more than thousands of years, it has not rusted in the heavy pollution of Delhi. Pillar in Kollur. The 8.7-meter tall iron pillar weighing 500 kgs is located at the Adi Moogambika temple at Kodachadri in Karnataka. It is one of the oldest examples of ancient Indian metallurgy, which culminated in key achievements between the 2nd and 6th century AD. The roughness, corrosion of the pillar increases with height, and it was built by the local tribal 2400 years ago to welcome Sri Adi Shankaracharya when he visited their temple. So, this technology was available not only with the educated people but also with the tribal people. Let's move on to navigation and shipbuilding. In the olden days, India was known for its spices, and the Europeans wanted to establish trade businesses with the Indians. 2 ships were built to explore routes to India, and they were thought to be the biggest ships of their time. One was Santa Maria, with British Christopher Columbus as the captain of the ship, and the other one was Sao Gabriel, with Portuguese Vasco da Gama as the captain of the ship. Columbus went towards west direction and landed on America, thinking that he had reached India, named the people as Red Indians due to their color. As written in Vasco da Gama's travel book in 1497, he sailed towards the south and was sailing parallel to the shores of Africa and did not want to take chances of sailing against the wind to cross the Indian Ocean. He anchored his ship at the Bay of African shores and went to the land to seek help. There, he met a trader from India by the name Kanha. Kanha's 5 ships escorted Vasco da Gama's ships across the Indian Ocean safely. Now, what was thought as the biggest ship in Europe was only 1/10 of the trading ships of Kanha, which means Kanha's ships was 10 times bigger than Vasco da Gama's ship. This proves that ancient Indians were masters in shipbuilding technology and sea navigation experts. How did ancient Indians excel in anything and everything? What we have seen is in the previous screens is just a handful of samples. The ancient Indians were able to achieve and succeed in all areas because of the reason that all the scientists, inventors were sages with abundant knowledge. They meditated, and with meditation, they were able to travel to faraway distances, to another planet, star, or a galaxy. Time travel, shrink to the size which is smaller than an atom, increase size as big as a mountain, etc., etc. With these unique capabilities, they were able to go to different places and come back to Earth and share their experiences with us. That's how we know that Arundhati and Vashishta are 2 stars revolving around each other, and many other things which we've already had a look. Let's now have a look at some of the sages of India. The modern world likes to take credit for many of the technology inventions, but we fail to mention that often many of these discoveries are nothing but reinventions based on knowledge of our ancestors possessed long ago. Much scientific knowledge can be traced to ancient India and the great sages. We're going to see some remarkable ancient Indian sages who created the law of gravity, airplanes, missiles, atomic theory, medicine, astronomy, cosmology, all this long before the modern era. Bhaskara or Bhaskaracharya was an Indian mathematician and an astronomer who extended Brahmagupta's work on number systems. Born in Maharashtra, Bhaskaracharya's mathematical work called Leelavati and Bijaganita are considered to be unparalleled. In his thesis, Siddharth Shiromani, he writes on planetary positions, eclipses, cosmography, mathematical techniques, and astronomical equipments. In modern times, the credit of discovering Earth's gravitational force is given to Isaac Newton. However, very few people know that the same gravitational force was already discovered by the Indian sage Bhaskaracharya thousands of years ago. In the Surya Siddharth, he makes a note on the force of gravity. Objects fall on Earth due to a force of attraction by the Earth. Therefore, the Earth, planets, constellations, moons, the Sun are held in orbit due to this attraction. Bhaskaracharya was the first to discover gravity 500 years before Sir Isaac Newton. Maharishi Bharadwaj, who discovered rockets and aeroplane. Maharishi Bharadwaj was one of the greatest Hindu sages whose accomplishments are detailed in the Puranas. According to modern science, Wright brothers invented the aeroplane. Indian scientists and critics have a different opinion and point out that aircraft was used extensively during Ramayana and Mahabharata time, indicating that the aeronautics was a much developed branch by that time. This clearly indicates that the aircraft was developed much before the modern era. Maharishi Bharadwaj, through Vimana Shastra, discovered and wrote about how airplanes vanished and traveled from one planet to another. According to the Indian scriptures, Maharishi Bharadwaj is considered as the Indian inventor of the aeroplane. Garga Muni, the scientist of stars. Garga Muni was the chief astrologer of King Prithu. Garga Muni had passion for stars. His work, Garga Samhita, is based on the 6 fractions of the astrological science. His work, Garga Purana, lays down the rules of astrology in detail. Garga Muni's major contribution is in the field of Vastu Shastra, the science of architecture, and Ayurveda, herbal medicine. Agatyar Rishi and his natural sciences. Agatyar was a respected Vedic sage of Hinduism. In the Indian tradition, he is a noticed sage and an influential scholar in diverse languages of Indian subcontinent. He and his wife Lopamudra are the celebrated authors of hymns in Rig Veda and other Vedic literature. He is well regarded as one of the Tamil Siddhar in the Shaivam tradition, who invented an early grammar of the Tamil language, Agatyam, playing a pioneer role in the development of Tamraparanian medicine and spirituality of Saiva centers in South India and Sri Lanka. Vishwamitra, who discovered and used missiles. Before Vishwamitra became a sage, he was first a king. Later, he was recognized as one of the most adored sages of ancient times in India. He is the Rishi of the 3rd book of Rig Veda. Thousands of years ago, he discovered missiles and missile systems. Being a warrior, he used these weapons and taught Rama how missiles functioned. Shashruta, father of surgery. Shashruta was an ancient Indian surgeon commonly credited for his thesis Shashruta Samhita. He is dubbed as the founding father of surgery, and the Shashruta Samhita is identified as one of the best and outstanding commentary on medical science of surgery. He is said to have been a physician originally of South India, active in Varanasi. His period is based between 1200 to 600 BC. Acharya Charak, the skin specialist. Acharya Charak was a well-known Ayurvedic scientist and a skin specialist. Acharya Charak has researched on science of body, science of womb, and on medicines. The medicines for the most common diseases of today like diabetes, heart-related diseases, etc. were found by Acharya Charak many thousands years ago. In his Charak Samhita, he has described the medicinal qualities of and functions of 100,000 herbal plants. He has emphasized the influence of diet and activity on mind and body. He has proved the correlation of spirituality and physical health contributed greatly to diagnostic and curative sciences. Through his genius and intuition, Acharya Charak made landmark contributions to Ayurveda. Abayar, the Tamil poet. the medieval period, Avayar was the court poet of Chola monarch. She found great happiness in the life of small children. Her works Atichudi and Kondravendan, written for young children, are even now generally read and enjoyed by them. Patanjali, the sage behind Yoga Sutra. It is believed that Maharishi Patanjali was born in Kodar village of Wajirganj area of Gunda district, Uttar Pradesh, about 5,000 years ago. He codified all aspects of yoga into a certain format known as Yoga Sutras. This is a collection of 196 verses or sutras on yoga. And so, Patanjali is known as the father of modern yoga. Acharya Kanad, father of atomic energy. In modern times, John Dalton has been credited as the inventor of atomic energy. However, he was not the first one to discover the concept of atoms. About 2600 years ago, Acharya Kanad, an Indian philosopher and a great thinker far ahead of his time, developed what we today call as the atomic theory. Acharya Kanad was the first person in the world to discuss atoms and molecules. He said that every object of creation is made up of atoms, which in turn connect with each other to form molecules. Thiruvalluvar and his Tirukkural. Thiruvalluvar, commonly known as Valluvar, is a celebrated Tamil poet and philosopher. He is best known as the author of Tirukkural, a collection of couplets on ethics, politics, and economical matters and love. The text is considered as exceptional and widely cherished work of Tamil literature. The Kural is structured into 133 chapters, each containing 10 stanzas or Kurals, for a total of 1,330 stanzas. Tirukkural, though written 2000 years ago, still is applicable to the present day, today, circumstances and happenings. Kapila, the father of cosmology. Acharya Kapila was born in 3000 BC to the sage Kardam and Devhuti. He also gifted the world with the Sankhya school of thought. His pioneering work threw light on the nature and principles of the ultimate soul, primal matter, and creation. His concept of transformation of energy and profound commentaries on Atma, non-Atma, and the subtle elements of the cosmos places him in an elite class of master achievers, incomparable to the discoveries of other cosmologists. Chanakya, the great politician. Chanakya was a teacher to the first Maurya emperor, Chandragupta, the first emperor in the archaeologically recorded history to rule the complete Indian subcontinent. He authored the ancient Indian political thesis called Arthashastra. Chanakya is considered as the pioneer of the field of economics and political science, and his work is thought of an important foundation to classical economics. Chanakya was a teacher in Takshashila, an ancient center of learning. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like this video, please do click on the like button, and if you are new visitors to our video, please subscribe and click on the bell icon to get notifications of new videos uploaded. Thank you.